Hi, this is Athena StarSeed, and this is a series called Raising Reverence. And today I'm talking to one of my favorite people, Goddess Alorah Inanna. And I had her on my radio show, Heaven on Earth, with Kim Hicks, all the way from Hawaii, my gorgeous co-host. And on the way home, we were talking, and I'm like, I have to do a separate whole show just on this one topic. So after our hot tub satsang, we decided to do a clip.
That's right.
And you wanted to do it right behind.
And I didn't want to sit on that couch. I wanted to get right up here with Ramana Maharshi, who I'm not somebody who puts gurus on my altar, and I don't have him on mine. But if I was going to put one, it'd be him. Because when I look in that man's eyes, I do see God. And I know that this is the divine masculine and the divine human looking at me. So thank you, Ramana Maharshi, for your beautiful life and being here present with us as we have a conversation about the divine masculine and divine feminine. So you want to say, you want me to just launch off, or you want to?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay.
Well, let's start with where our world is right now. We have a world on the altar, and it's crumbling because of...
Right. Well, I wrote something so powerful that I'm going to read it because, you know, unless I memorize it, it won't be good. But recently, I was riding in a car with a woman who's rich enough that her husband was invited to go to some very private meeting in England where even President Clinton was there when he was no longer president. The big people were there. And they were talking about our future as a planet. They were actually addressing it, right? And I was in the car. He called in at midnight from England, and she and I are driving the car, and I'm listening to their conversation. And I hear all the things that they're addressing. And what I don't hear is anything about our erotic lives. I hear nothing about sexuality. And yet sexuality is central in everybody's life. So I came forward with a transmission. It was, I don't know, me, my mind, God's mind, Goddess's mind, but it's called the Erotic Solution. And I actually channeled a yantra, which I'm sure you'll see someday, that is called the Mary Magdalene yantra, and it is the erotic solution to humanity's needs and understanding of that yantra.
First go over what a yantra is.
Okay.
And then go back.
Well, many of you will know that a mantra is a sacred sound that when you chant connects you to spirit. A yantra is a visual symbol that when you look at it like this, it connects you to spirit. So Mary Magdalene yantra is a visual symbol, and it is, in its essence, it is what we have come to call the Star of David, but I'm calling it the Star of Mary because it is on her tomb.
Wow.
They believe, I saw a video clip from France from I think the 50s when they discovered a tomb they believe is Mary Magdalene where her family and her are buried. And on her casket are two of the symbol that I drew, and on the edifice that contained her casket are two of those things. And I started screaming when that happened because I had no idea that this symbol I'd been channeling had anything to do with Mary Magdalene. But I have a lot to do with Mary Magdalene because Mary Magdalene represents the part of the feminine that has been banished.
Right.
But Mary Magdalene is the goddess, not the maternal feminine. She's the erotic feminine. She's the wise feminine. She's the equal. She's not the servant to the children and the servant to the men and the servant to the community. She may do those things, but she is one unto herself. She is a wise, beautiful, powerful, sexual being who I just read an amazing book called Woman with the Alabaster Jar, Mary Magdalene and the Holy Grail. And I think I maybe told you this yesterday that, you know, as the Catholic Church stripped Mary out of so this woman wrote this book because she heard in like the mid-90s, and that's when I heard it, that people started saying Mary Magdalene was Christ's wife. And she was so appalled. As a Catholic scholar, she was horrified at that idea.
Right. And many Catholics are horrified
she
at that
set
idea
out to
that
prove
a woman would have sex.
that Jesus would have sex.
Yeah.
Right? That Jesus was, see, what the Catholic Church has given us is a model where Jesus' mother never had sex and Jesus never had sex. Isn't that interesting? Both of them virgins, right?
Right.
So in the Catholic Church, as it developed, not as it was when Jesus was teaching, but as it became something in which the feminine was not honored at all. And if you were going to honor it, you would only honor the mother, but not as a sexual mother who had sex with her husband and had a child. No, a virgin mother gives birth to a son who never has sex. That's, something is off there, right?
Right, exactly.
So this woman started doing the research to prove that Mary Magdalene wasn't his wife, and her research ended up giving her complete confidence and absolute proof and a certainty that she was.
She was.
And that the actual symbol which we're talking about, which is known as the Star of David, is a symbol for, first of all, the symbol is that symbol where you see a triangle like this, and then you see a triangle like this. So you have an upright triangle and a pointing down triangle, and they sit on top of each other and they make a six-pointed star.
Right.
And that symbol, we've all seen, it's part of the Jewish religion for sure. It's much more ancient than the Jewish religion, but nobody really knows what it means. We just see it and it's a symbol, but what does it mean, right?
Right.
Well, what she's pointing to is that this symbol is the symbol of the lingam. It's the symbol of the upright penis. It's the symbol of the masculine. This symbol is the symbol of the feminine. It's the symbol of the pelvis. Well, if you look at the peace sign is the symbol of the pelvis. The artists in our time of the Dark Ages, the artists, all of the wisdom of the feminine was being suppressed. Women were being burned, and it was a horrible time. Yeah. And the artists were putting the symbols and the knowledge into the paintings and into the songs and doing whatever they could to keep the truth going, right? So what she's pointing to is that we are living in a world that is strictly based on the masculine values, and that we must reintegrate these two things. And so this is what my life's about, and what your life is about, and what really our lives need to be about and are increasingly becoming about. And one of the key pieces of this is, okay, as we shift to a world based in the feminine values, so the masculine values, this is a part of my teaching, it gives you an understanding of that symbol, is that the masculine values are wealth, sex, and spirit. So if you imagine a triangle like this, wealth is over here on the bottom left corner, spirit is over here on the bottom right corner, and sex is up here at the top. Now, everybody wants me to put spirit at the top, right? But I don't think that's where it goes. At least you can look at it that way sometimes, but I find it quite interesting to look at it this way, because we want to think that spirit is the most attractive thing, but the reality is that's not true for most people.
Right.
What's true for most people is you can be very, very spiritual, but if you aren't having a fulfilling life with your sexual body, it will come along and snag you. It will down you. It will topple you, you know. Just ask any of the people who've been toppled, okay? Right. So what I said after listening to this man and the conversation and all that he was doing, I wrote this article, and it says, until we acknowledge, address, and provide for. So let's talk first. We're going to acknowledge the erotic needs of our society. Yeah. We're going to address the erotic needs of our society, and we're going to provide for the erotic needs of our society. So until we acknowledge, address, and provide for the erotic needs of our society, we will not resolve the fundamental ills of our society. And then this is the next part, and I have to read it to you because it's too important to mess it up at all.
So good. This is what she read to me in the jacuzzi, and I said, "Stop. We're going to blow dry our hair, and we're coming in here, and we're going to record this for you because I think it's so profound that just hearing these words, it's going to change the way we think, and it's going to change the way we behave and interact with each other."
Sex is the most powerful energy on the planet. It gives us birth. It catalyzes our most important cycles in life. It brings together and breaks apart our families.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It forms the foundation of the most lucrative sites on the internet. It powers the world's fashion, recreation, and advertising markets. It causes more family violence than all other concerns. It is the source of our greatest overpopulation and healthcare issues. So is that not true?
It is true.
It's so true.
That's true.
It gives us birth. When we become, we go through puberty, it catalyzes a new cycle in our life. We get pregnant, a new cycle. We have children, a new cycle. We go through menopause, a new cycle. Our sexuality is catalyzing our most important cycles in life, and that's just women. Men have their own. It forms the foundation of money on the internet.
Right.
Of money anywhere.
Right.
What do we sell everything with? We sell it with sex, right? So
Right.
It is the foundation for our economy. It is the cause of more family violence because if you don't educate people about their sexuality, they will not move into spirituality. Sex has to move from sexuality to spirituality to fulfill its highest purpose. And if you do that, if you train women who are really the source of the sexual energy, we are the flowers. If you train us how to take that male and take him to the divine through your sexuality, you're not going to have a frustrated husband who beats you.
Right.
You have frustrated husbands who beat you because you, as a woman, have been dumbed down so deeply and shamed so deeply and made so ignorant of your own sexual power that you're not fulfilling the needs that are built into the system. So it causes more family violence than all other concerns, and it is the source of our greatest overpopulation and healthcare issues.
Okay, I just want to pause again to the women. If you have ever been beaten or been hit, we're not saying that you're dumbed down. What we are saying is a higher mind and consciousness to nurture the perpetrators so that that victim-perpetrator relationship doesn't keep spinning again and again. The solution is the love, but mothers don't teach their daughters how to love a man, and fathers don't teach their sons how to love a woman and care for a nurturing relationship. So that sets up the conflict from the get-go.
From the get-go. And I didn't mean to imply that anybody's dumbed down. I'm saying the culture, we've all been, for centuries, we've